Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the original Batman film. I'm going to get into more on that in a second. The 1966 film, Batman. Sorry, with Adam West, Burt Ward, Lee Meriwether, Burgess Meredith, Cesar Romero, and Frank Gorshin. Of course, what I mean by original Batman movie, people will think reviewing the 1989 Batman film that Tim Burton directed, starring Michael Keaton as Batman. But wrong, that's not the original Batman movie. The movie I'm doing in this review, that's the original Batman movie, which came out in 1966, 23 years earlier, and came out just after the first season of the Batman television show. That's when this movie came out. I think Batman was like a mid-season show, and this movie came out after the first season happened. So that's what I mean when the original Batman movie came out in 1966. Not Tim Burton. Well, there was back in the 1940s a Batman movie Saturday morning serial. In case you know what a Saturday morning serial is, that's when every Saturday morning people or kids who go to a local movie theater and see every week we have a different part or a different episode of a particular storyline of a particular character, like Flash Gordon, or Buck Rogers, or Batman. And Batman was one of the movie serials, and that's what people went out to see. And every week, that particular episode would end on some kind of a cliffhanger, and say, come back and see the next part, see the next part, or part 2, or part 3, or whatever. And this week is part 2. You're going to come back next week and see part 3, or part 4, or whatever. And that's what it was. But this was the first really full-length. And the 1966 Batman film was the first full-length feature film. And it's entertaining as it is. I mean, it is as campy as it is. It's silly. It's extremely silly. But the plot was it. And of course, the plot is you have Batman and Robin facing 4 villains. The famous supervillains: the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, and Catwoman. Of course, all the characters came out based from the television show, with the lone exception of Lee Meriwether. Of course, at that time, Julie Newmar was already famous for playing Catwoman on the television show. But when they got around to make the movie, she wasn't available. So they hired former Miss America Lee Meriwether to play Catwoman. And she was terrific in this movie. Of course, Julie Newmar is the best one who played the part. But Lee Meriwether took her and made the part her own, and she was extremely good, extremely sexy in this movie playing Catwoman. Of course, the plot is that these 4 villains got together and decided to take over and to kidnap the World United Security Council. Well, technically, it's the UN Security Council, and you know they use the UN. They filmed the outside of the UN building in New York City, but they call it the World Security Council or the World Unity Security Council. So what they did was they dehydrated all the characters, making them to like this colored powder. All members of the Security Council from West Germany. Or East Germany, you had one from Israel, you had Great Britain, you had a guy from France, you had a Japanese guy, a Japanese ambassador. All of them were like power, and of course one from the United States, of course. So it's about like 9 members. All of them got shrunk into all the water in their bodies were taken out of their body because they zapped them with this ray to take all the water out of their bodies, making them powerful. So then there's a little powder. So of course Batman and Robin go out, and of course they eventually just stop the villains. I'm discussing the main plot of the film, folks. There's a lot of little subplots that's going on as well, which I may eventually get into. But what happened is, of course, the guy who invented this ray was in the submarine of the four villains, because the Penguin had a submarine, and he got knocked down. All the ambassadors the palace all got mixed up together, and not only that, but the guy who invented the machine, he sneezed and it blew everything all together. So Batman and Robin in the Batcave had to separate each one to see which one's the right person, and then they mixed up the languages of all the ambassadors. So they rehydrated them. All of them spoke different languages. At the end of the film, so it was a completely botched up job. I mean, they got him physically right, but not, with the speech patterns that Batman and Robin screwed that up. So they ended up getting out of there as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they're going to get lynched. And they screwed this up, and I mean that was funny. And especially to see the German guy speaking Hebrew, which is like a bit. And I mean, this came out like 21 years after World War II ended. So to see a German guy speaking Hebrew, I mean, it was funny. I mean, it was like a silly comedy almost. Of course, one of the other subplots of this movie, the other scene a couple of scenes that became iconic in the 1966 film, was when Batman had a love affair with Catwoman, who didn't know that she was Catwoman, but it's Russian reporter. And Lee Meriwether did a great fake, it's a fake Russian accent, but she made it believable. Lee Meriwether made it believable, and when Batman found out that she was actually Catwoman in disguise, he went nuts. He went upset over it, and then of course, the other iconic scene was when Batman and Robin went into the lair of the four criminals, and they found out that there was a bomb in there. So Batman goes in, gets the bomb, gets out, and it's running around the dock area trying to get rid of this bomb. But no matter where he goes, if somebody comes along, he wants to throw it somewhere, and there's like a group of nuns working at him. Then he runs somewhere else, and here comes this marching band coming at him. Then he goes somewhere else, and he wants to dump it in the water, and there's a couple in a boat making out. And then he goes to the other side of the dock to throw it over on that side, on the bomb that side, and there's like a bunch of baby ducks and a mother duck, and so Adam West comes up with this line, says, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. I mean, it was a great line. I don't know if it was an ad lib or not, but it was a great line. And of course, eventually he does get rid of the bomb, and they had a whole bunch of other silly, things that happen in this film as well, and it was really crazy how they figured out that all four of the villains were working together. Of course, the other scene I should mention that also became iconic was when Batman and Robin go to where this yacht was about to be hijacked and they knew it was a fake projection, and Batman's lured by the Batcopter, which is another thing I should mention in this film, that they used a whole bunch of Batman vehicles in this film. Not only the Batmobile, of course, but they had the Batcopter, they had the Batboat, and they had the Bat Chopper, the Bat motorcycle in this film. So you have all these different vehicles in this Batman movie. Very rarely did you see it again during the Batman television show, but in the movie they had brought it all out in this film, and it was of course when came back to that part. So Batman's on the rope, the Bat Ladder, and then we have a sign on it says Bat Ladder. I mean it was really silly, really campy. And so Batman's lowered into the water, and a shark, one of Penguin's exploring sharks, was on his leg, on Batman's leg. And so Batman yells at Robin, "Give me the bad shark repellent." So Robin had to climb down and give him the shark repellent, and he sprays on the shark and goes to the water and it explodes. I mean, this thing was really a silly, campy movie. And like I said earlier, this was the first Batman movie. I don't care what the die-hard Batman fans say about the 1989 Batman film. That was really the first movie. Bullshit. This 1966 movie was the first ever Batman movie. It was the first one. So that's my review of the 1966 Batman film. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and only on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. It's over WDY, C.com. On the homepage, the Rowdy reviewer Christy Moore, and please check out all his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.